when we're in the media, not only do we win, I mean, of course we win because we tap into the audiences, but the audience wins because we're showing up in a generous way, not in like a quick 30-second way. We're sharing something useful.
I'm Jenna Kutcher, your host of the Goal Digger podcast. I escaped the corporate world at the age of 23 with nothing more than a $300 camera from Craigslist and a dream. Now I'm running a 7-figure online business that feels even better than it looks, all from my house in small town Minnesota with my family. Here, we value time as our currency. We mix the woo and the work, and we are in the pursuit of building businesses that give us the freedom to live lives that we love. I've always loved turning big goals into reality, and I'm here to help you do the same. This isn't just a peek behind the curtain. Come along with me and my guests as we tear the whole curtain down. Every week, we tackle practical, no-fluff marketing strategies and host honest discussions on what works and what doesn't. Join me and my expert guests for actionable insights to help you grow your dream business with confidence. Pull up a seat and get ready to be challenged, inspired, and empowered. This is the Goal Digger podcast. In an era where AI is dominating the digital space and content creation has never been faster, the question isn't just how to get noticed, it's how to be trusted. As we head into 2025, where skepticism is rising and attention spans are shrinking, trust has become the new currency. And today's guest has a secret weapon in earning it. Today, I'm thrilled to sit down with someone who has mastered the art of using media coverage to build credibility, connection, and lasting authority. Susie Moore was on Goal Digger last year, but in case you're first meeting her today, she's a former Silicon Valley sales director turned into a life coach and advice columnist whose insights have been featured everywhere from The Today Show and CNN to Forbes and Marie Claire. Her work has not only been shared by industry icons like Ariana Huffington and Sarah Blakely, but also earned the trust of everyday entrepreneurs looking to create impact in their lives and in their businesses. Susie is here and back to unpack why media is more relevant than ever in cutting through the noise, how it accelerates trust in a crowded world, and why intentional PR strategies should be at the top of your list for 2025. Whether you're aiming to launch a course, grow your brand, get more clients, or simply stand out in your niche, Susie's strategies will give you the edge you need to become the go-to authority in your field. If you want to dive even deeper into this topic, head to jennakutcher.com/rockstar and save your seat for her free class, Overnight Rockstar. In it, you're going to learn how to get noticed, skyrocket your reputation, and become your own publicist. She hosted this last year just for our audience, and I will tell you, it was one of your favorite trainings of the year. It was so powerful that I made my team watch it, take notes, and apply her strategy. And in this episode, I'm going to share what our results were. Again, that's jennakutcher.com/rockstar. We'll also link it for you in the show notes. Get ready for today's conversation. We're going to shift how you see the media, how you tell your stories, and share the incredible power of trust in business. Susie, welcome back to the Goal Digger podcast. Growing a business isn't for the faint of heart. It's a whole lot of everything: building an audience, nurturing leads, managing channels, tracking metrics, and juggling all the moving pieces of your strategy. And let's not forget those late nights, long days, and working weekends. Sound familiar? Sometimes it feels like you're wishing for just one thing to make it all a little bit easier. Well, meet Breeze, HubSpot's brand new collection of AI tools built specifically for marketers just like you. With Breeze, attracting the right audience, increasing leads, and turning those leads into loyal customers just got faster and, dare I say, easier than ever before. Imagine less stress and more success, more wins and fewer all-nighters. With Breeze, you're not just keeping up, you're staying ahead. And pretty soon, your business is going to have a lot to celebrate. Check out Breeze at HubSpot.com/marketers to learn more. That's HubSpot.com/marketers. Susie, welcome back. I need a hot take. So we're going to dive in with a hot take. And I want to know that with AI making content creation faster and easier than ever, do you think it is helping entrepreneurs build trust, or would you argue that it's eroding it?
Oh, what a good question to kick off, Jenna Kutcher. My gosh, I will tell you, AI is a fantastic tool and it's only getting better and better. I think a lot of us know too, it's got a bit of a long way to go based on how you're working with it in content creation ways. But the way that I understand AI as it pertains to any type of content creator relating to their audience is that audiences are smart and they know what's real. In that place inside of us that just knows where truth resides. We know what a real person is, what a real story is. When a real sentence connects with us, when a sentiment we're able to relate to it, we know what that is, and we know it when we see it, when we hear it, when we read it. So AI has an incredible place and it can help source ideas, but it can't replace a human being telling their stories, sharing their wisdom, sharing their knowledge. That has to come from us. And with lots of people taking the AI shortcuts these days, amazing for us who are willing to step up, share our stories, fertility stories, getting out of debt stories, fitness stories. Those of us who are willing to tell the truth and remain ourselves from ourselves, we're the ones who get to stand out.
Okay. This is so good. So I always do like fun trend predictions of like the new year. And I really think that for 2025, trust is the new currency. And I think that, I love AI. I leverage it in many different ways, but I feel like that piece that you just spoke on of like people know what's real and what's authentic. I think that trust is really going to be the currency for 2025. And you have a really interesting way of building trust. Let's talk about like how can media coverage, which is what you specialize in, serve as a way to help build trust and maybe even like a shortcut to building trust with our audiences?
Oh my gosh. I don't know what better shortcut to building trust than being in credible media sources. So, for example, I'm featured quite regularly in Katie Couric media. I love Katie. I love her audience. And I think to myself, if someone trusts Katie and her 40 plus year career, and I'm featured on her platform, what that means to us consciously or unconsciously is Katie trusts her. I can trust her. And what I've seen over the years again and again and again is when someone comes into my world via a media source, so like a media outlet, maybe it's Forbes, Katie Couric, Business Insider, Cosmo, that media brand has built trust in some cases over 100 years, spending millions and millions of dollars building their brand, creating content, being established. And you just get to swoop right on in to those huge, engaged audiences that have taken so much time to be built. And in an instant, you land that credibility. So when I notice people coming into my world from media features, organic leads, fresh people coming in, eager for what we've got to sell here, I know that the buy cycle is shortened because the trust is established immediately. And look, any way a lead finds you, a person finds you is great. An ad, an affiliate promotion, a social media, it's any way you're found is wonderful. Visibility is number one fan here. But I find that, maybe Jenna, just say you've been reading Good Housekeeping for years and so is your mom and so is your grandma. And then you're featured in Good Housekeeping. The people who are just like you are good housekeeping to that reader, to that person. So if you're anything like me, you love a shortcut. So why not go to the source of where the trust already is and just appear there? You don't have to build anything. It already exists. You just tap right on in.
Okay. I love this. I also love Good Housekeeping. And it's so funny. Another publication I love, Country Living.
Oh, I love that too.
I love, like, we have like the subscription, and Drew is like, okay, our house is the exact opposite of Country Living. I'm like, but we live in the country. But it's something that like my mom, my grandma, like it was just a staple in our lives. But anyways, that was a tangent. But what I think is so powerful about what you said is that I think so many people are struggling to grow their platforms and to build that trust authentically and organically on their own. It takes a lot of work and a lot of time. And I feel like people are looking for shortcuts. And this is one of the easiest shortcuts. And it allows you to leverage platforms that have already been built. So you, like you said, you almost just get to swoop in and like reap the rewards of what other people have spent years and probably millions of dollars to make.
Yes. Talk about letting it be easy. I know you're a huge proponent of ease, doing what works. Jenna, one thing I repeat again and again and again is working on the right thing is more important than working hard.
Yes.
You can spend 3 or 4 weeks or years building something and look, throw everything at your success, do the things. But I find media is like, it really is that instant access. And I've seen it again and again. And why wouldn't you do it? Why wouldn't you give yourself that advantage? I joke that the only reason you wouldn't want to do it is if you were in like maybe a witness protection and you legally had to hide. I'm like, there are some things we need to hide, like our hair extensions and other bits and bobs, but not our businesses. I mean, we have to talk about them and we have to let people know how we can help.
I'm pretty sure that living in Minnesota means you kind of have to love winter. And honestly, winter is one of my favorite seasons. Cozy nights, fluffy socks, all the sweaters, but I could do without the dryness that it brings. My daughter has the driest hands of all time. I'm talking like painful dry skin. And so every night after she's asleep, I sneak into her room with Osea's Underria Algae Body Butter and I lather her up. It has become a sweet little evening ritual, even if she doesn't remember it in the morning. And I love knowing that I'm using something that works so well for her skin. This body butter has been a game changer for our family. It is rich and creamy, but it absorbs instantly. No greasy residue, just soft, smooth, deeply hydrated skin. And the scent, I wish you could smell it. It is this fresh, natural blend of grapefruit, lime, cypress, and a hint of mango mandarin. It's like this little burst of sunshine in the winter. Now, what makes it even better is knowing that Osea's products are clean, vegan, cruelty-free, and made of organic ingredients. It feels so good to support a family-owned company that truly represents the natural world while giving us skincare that actually works. If you are ready to give your skin or someone you love's a New Year glow up, now is the perfect time. Osea is offering Gold Digger listeners 10% off of your first order site-wide. Just use the code GOLDDIGGER at OseaMalibu.com. That's OSEA Malibu.com with the code GOLDDIGGER for 10% off. I promise you, your skin is about to thank you. You know I love finding tools that make running a business even easier. And so I'm so excited to share with you a tool that I swear by, which is Gusto. It's an all-in-one payroll, benefits, and HR platform. And I love it so much, I recently made my entire team switch to it. With Gusto, payroll is fast and super simple, whether you're handling W-2s or 1099s, but that's just the beginning. You can offer health benefits, 401k plans, and so much more, all tailored to nearly any budget. Their software is super simple. It's all online. You can access it from anywhere, and you can run unlimited payroll for one monthly price with no hidden fees. And taxes? Gusto takes care of those too, automatically filing and paying them across all 50 states. Businesses save on average $2,600 and 48 hours a year by switching. No wonder 4 out of 5 businesses say Gusto is worth it. Here's the best part. Gusto is giving you Gold Diggers 3 months for free when you run your first payroll. Head to gusto.com/golddigger to snag this offer. That's gusto.com/golddigger. Don't miss out. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I love that. That is amazing. Okay. One thing that I'm curious about, because you are so engrossed in this world, is that obviously people are busy. I feel like attention spans are getting like shorter and smaller. And so how do you see press as something that kind of cuts through the noise and can become this key driver for meaningful connections?
I talk a lot about the power of context with which someone is found. So again, and however you're found is wonderful. If you meet somebody who can partner with you in an elevator, I mean, that's wonderful. There are no, there are no wrong ways. But I think to myself, if you even look at, perhaps a bottle of water, right? Say it's the same Evian or Fiji bottle of water. If that's found in a Costco, it's one price, right? Maybe, I don't know, $1 or $2.
Yep.
If it's at a gym, I'm guessing I don't go to the gym, but I'm guessing it's more like $4 or $5. If you go to the airport, it's X. If you go to a 5-star hotel, like wherever it is, the water doesn't change, but where it's found or where it's purchased, it makes a big difference to how it's perceived and how much we value it. And so in an age of so much overload and so many videos and so many shorts and so much happening, if you're appearing in the right context where someone is already showing up willingly, wanting information, needing advice, needing stories, I say, Jenna, often when we're in the media, not only do we win, I mean, of course we win because we tap into the audiences, but the audience wins because we're showing up in a generous way, not in like a quick 30-second way. We're sharing something useful. And the media too wins because they need content. If the media don't have content, they won't last 24 hours. So everyone wins. The perception of your value is higher. And if someone is seeking out a media outlet that they love, and often they do every single day, refresh, check here, check there, then they are actually actively looking for you. It's not some algorithm manipulation. It's here you are in a place that's trusted, that's credible, where they feel a connection and you're sharing something useful. And that is something that just, it lasts. I always find that my best quality leads, the people who find me are through the work where I've put some effort into sharing something that's valuable in a context that's powerful. And so I don't even think about attention spans. I mean, I just think if you focus on that, if you focus on sharing something valuable in the right place, it pays off.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay, so we've talked about the what, which is media and press coverage. We've talked about the why because it builds trust. Let's dive into the how. How do we get our name? How do we get our businesses out there? How do we get our ideas, our strategies, our thoughts, our stories? How?
I would say the first thing is realizing that this is possible for you no matter your stage. So I started getting media coverage before I had a website, when I was working in a full-time tech career. And I was like, I want life coaching clients. How am I going to do it? And I didn't know. I didn't know. I mean, who does know in the beginning? It could be a bit overwhelming and confusing. So I think the first is understanding that this is available to you no matter what. I speak all the time about how I have 0 formal qualifications. You'll hear me say often, your life is your cred. What you've lived, what you've learned, what you know, people need to know. If there's something that you can share that can help anyone a little further along, Martha Beck says it's our moral obligation to share it. And don't just share it in a small way, share it in a way where as many people can benefit as possible. And so people say to me, Jenna, don't you have to be chosen? Aren't the people who are appearing in these places like special or more experienced, or I don't know, don't they have connections? This is, oh my gosh, my favorite thing to talk about. There is I'm telling you, there is nothing special. There's nothing they have and you don't have, apart from a pitching technique, apart from the willingness to go for it, to raise their hand, say their own name and say, I can help. I can join that conversation. I have something to add here. You don't have to be some fancy expert. You don't need X amount of years in business. You don't need specific certifications or qualifications. You can absolutely use them if you have them. What a blessing. But I think the first part is understanding that you're ready. If you're even curious about it, you're ready. The earlier, the better, because you get this leg up from the very beginning. So I think the first is moving through that hurdle of don't I have to be X, Y, Z? A human being with life experience is enough. Then there are the other moving parts essentially are understanding what it is you want to share. I call it your celebrity identity. And it can shift too with time. Naturally, it will. Do you want to speak about law? Do you want to speak about real estate? Do you want to speak about life coaching? Do you want to speak about yoga poses for back pain? I mean, whatever it is that your specialty is or what you love to help others with, you just start there. And then you identify where those people are likely to be. And often, even just a great kickoff is probably where you are. Yeah. So if you're passionate about country living, if you're passionate about homes, if you're passionate about gaming, right? I mean, there really are. If you're passionate about horses, I mean, there are no niches that aren't media friendly. Then you want to understand, what is it that I can contribute to this that could be helpful, useful, entertaining, informative? And where might the people be that could benefit from what it is I have to share? And then it's just a matter of presenting your idea in a sharp way, making it timely. I mean, that's even a bonus brownie point. Yeah. And then having the willingness to go for it.
Okay, Susie, give us some examples of stories that you've gotten featured, just so people can understand what that could even look like. Because I love some of your features.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So I'll talk about some recent ones. In Business Insider recently, I spoke about how emotional regulation is the most underrated business hack. Ooh. So, I mean, Jenna, there are a million strategies, pieces of advice, and they're all valuable based on who they're reaching. And I love listening to all the tips. But I simply shared from a life coaching perspective that the best skill that I have is I manage my disappointment really well. I don't have too high highs, too low lows. Whatever happens, I know that I can handle it. I don't panic. And so in the face of, the market going up and down, or people leaving, or people criticizing you online, which, as you know, look, it happens no matter what your stage of business, I know how to regulate how I feel. And that allows me to be calm, make good decisions, and forge ahead and not panic. And I'm saying, I've observed people make panic buying decisions or panic selling decisions, or, the emotional state of the human being is tricky sometimes. And so I just spoke about managing my mood. And I was surprised at how much that connected with people. Because, we're scared of rejection. We're scared of being let down. We're scared of losing customers. We're scared of people talking badly about us online. And so I just said, how I manage my emotions is my secret weapon. And that's where I maintain most of my energy and can remain pretty upbeat and focus on what matters. Another piece I created was around toxic gratitude, around Thanksgiving, and how we don't always just have to feel thankful all the time. We can also deal with the emotions that don't feel so good, have conversations that maybe aren't so comfortable in order for our energy and happiness boost in the longer term versus just in the current moment. Another piece I created was about how I didn't grow up in a home that had much. And so we never really had friends over because there wasn't so much to go around. And I've always felt insecure about hosting people because no one taught me. And how this year I've been hosting more and more people, and how that's really healing an interesting part of me saying, essentially I can give this to myself. Maybe it wasn't available once, but it's certainly available now. And it's essentially me talking about making burgers to my friends, nothing glamorous about it, but it's just my own insight. And it actually just came up from talking to a friend about it, going, hey, this thing that I'm doing, having people over, it just feels good. And I tell you, Jenna, more and more, every single time I hear someone sharing something useful, I'm just like, that's an article. That's a story. Share it. Go. Don't hold back.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. I love these examples. And I love, because what it reminds me of, Susie, is like, that is often how I approach this podcast and even thinking of content. And I think so many people that are listening to this are constantly thinking of stories and content and angles and things. They're just not applying it to the realm of media and press, right?
Yes.
They're applying it to the audiences that are already there, which is amazing. But what about reaching new audiences with that same message that's resonating with your current audience? And like, that's so powerful, because I do believe people are intrinsically already doing these exercises or having these thoughts or paying attention to like the story that lands really well at girls' night or things like that.
Yes.
And so this is just like taking the next step into a different world, into a different realm that will actually generate results for you.
Oh my gosh. And I mean, think about if you even reviewed some of your most popular podcast episodes, I would actually use those, actively include them in pitching. I mean, also how you speak about being alcohol free. I mean, this is all stuff the media eats up.
Yes.
I mean, and there's no wrong time to do it. There are some, there is a certain way to make it land so that you're far more likely to succeed. But if you've got whatever you're already sharing, why not just go bigger? I say it's being more generous.
Yeah.
Giving your story, your piece of, whatever is landing on girls' night. Oh my gosh, is that what you say in that situation? No way. Oh my God, that's how you handled that mother-in-law? Oh, that's how you got. It's like, oh, don't hold back, baby. Like, give it a mic. Like, let's tell the people.
Yes.
Let's go bigger.
Oh my gosh. So how did you come up with like a strategy or framework that doesn't just work for you, but it works for other people in getting featured in the press? Like, how did that come to be?
It started by accident. A lot of people started saying, oh, well, how did you get in Marie Claire? How did you get in Mind Body Green? How did you get in Ink? How did you get in Fast? And I was like, why? I just, well, I just share stories. Like I just share stories. And then from, I think, receiving a lot of questions over the years, I've come to understand 10 years now doing this, that it's all the same, essentially. I mean, of course, your story is different. The media outlets, they're different. Their audiences are different. The timeliness on occasion is going to be different. But if you have something to say that is of value to one person, then it's extremely likely it's valuable to 100, 1,000, 100,000, a million people. And it's just up to us to connect those dots. And if you know how to find the people, you know where the people are, and you know how to convey an idea in a way that's compelling, then There you go. I mean, that's essentially all you need. I noticed too, a lot of high achieving women most commonly overcomplicate a lot of things, right? We think there have to be so many ducks in a row. There, oh, it feels like I have a plan for this. You really don't need that much. You just need, sometimes you have that feeling, I want more people to know about this diet, or I want more people to know that if you just drop that morning routine, or if you just spoke to your kids in this way about X. Any time you have that instinct to even share something on social media, great, do it. And don't stop there. Think, maybe we could think a little bigger. Like, why not? We're only going to be on planet Earth for a limited time. And we go into business to make an impact, right? We're content creators for a reason. So if I'm going to share something that can help 2 or 3 people or, 100 people, why stop there? Like, why stop? Because people, they're the same. Human beings are human beings. And we need the advice that you have.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here because somebody listening to this is like, dude, why am I not doing this? Like, what? This is genius. I already have content. I have ideas. I have stories. The devil's advocate in me is saying that somebody is listening and they're like, I am already stretched thin. Does this take a ton of time? Like, how can I add this to my plate without it adding a ton of overwhelm? What is your response to that?
I would say maybe this is an antidote to being stretched thin, because if you can get so much leverage out of one piece of content, and I mean, we haven't even touched on the credibility that lasts forevermore, right? So if you're on the Today Show, or if you're on whatever media matters to you, that is in your bio forever. It's on your marketing materials forever. It's in your introduction forever. Not to mention, once you get media once, it's easier. There's a snowball effect. Media start reaching out to you, which is so exciting. I wonder if we're just spending time on the wrong things, and that not only just makes us tired, it makes us doubt ourselves. We think, am I built for this? Should I quit? A lot of people have said that to me over the years. Like, I've been on the verge of quitting. Like, I'm spending money, like nothing's, and I'm like, have you tried pitching the media with a link? Like,
have you tried?
I'm like, don't give up. Yes. And then often you can get this influx of people saying, hey, how do I work with you? Wait, I need you in my life. I'm going through this journey. I've just had another miscarriage. Intermittent fasting made me faint. I mean, it's amazing I'm about to go through a divorce. I don't know. They find you, right? And because maybe they're just not finding you yet. And look, it's not your fault. Like, algorithms are always shifting, et cetera, et cetera. And there's pay to play. But when you're in the right place, like when you give yourself the permission to go for it and to be in that place of showing up in a bigger way, and the right people find you, I just find everything becomes easier after that. Everything becomes easier. And the media are doing the heavy lifting for you. They've got the audiences. And I mean, it's so fascinating. Jenna, I'm still surprised at what the media does for a person, like how it can, the gifts that keep on giving as a result. Totally. And your content's out there in the ether for like forever. So I think it's actually a way to alleviate so much of the other busy work that might not be paying off, but that you feel like you have to be doing because everyone else is doing it.
You know that feeling when a new year starts and you are absolutely ready to get organized and crush your goals? Financial wellness is at the top of my list this year and basically every other year, and Rocket Money has been a total game changer for making that happen. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps you take control of your money by finding and canceling unwanted subscriptions, monitoring your spending, and even negotiating lower bills for you. They showed me all of my subscriptions in one place, including the ones I didn't even realize I was paying for and definitely not using, and it instantly saved me hundreds of dollars a month. And when they renegotiated my phone bill, that was even more money in my pocket with zero hassle. Rocket Money doesn't just stop there. It tracks all of your spending across every account so you can see exactly where your money is going. And it even keeps an eye on your bills for price increases or unusual charges. With over 5 million users and a total of $500 million saved in canceled subscriptions, Rocket Money members save up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. I am already noticing a difference in my budget just for this year. If you're ready to cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster, head to rocketmoney.com/goaldigger to get started. That's rocketmoney.com/goaldigger. rocketmoney.com/goaldigger. Goal Diggers, it's 2025 and I have a quick reality check. If your B2B marketing strategy isn't improving your ad targeting, your message just might be getting lost in the noise. But don't worry, I've got a fix for you. LinkedIn ads lets you get specific, and I'm talking really specific. If you want to connect with the decision makers, CEOs, or professionals in your dream industry, LinkedIn makes it so easy to do that. With over 130 million decision makers and 10 million C-level execs on the platform, you can get your ad in front of the exact people who can say yes. And it's not just about who you reach, it's about the results. In the tech industry, LinkedIn ads generated 2 to 5 times higher return on ad spend than other social media platforms. Plus, 79% of B2B marketers say LinkedIn gives them the best results for paid media. It's where serious marketers go to win. Are you ready to give it a try? Start converting your B2B audience into high-quality leads today. We'll even give you a $100 credit on your next campaign. Go to linkedin.com/goal to claim your credit. That's linkedin.com/GOAL. Terms and conditions apply. LinkedIn, the place to be to be. Okay. You have an awesome strategy and thought process around, let's say somebody does get a press feature. You have a process around like how to make the most after a media feature goes live. Yes. So what is your strategy in leveraging like just one single media win? Like how could you leverage that one thing? Let's say somebody listens and they're like, I am going to get on Oprah Daily, which by the way, we did and we'll talk about, or I'm going to get into Forbes, or I'm going to, you know, how can you leverage just that one feature until the end of time, or at least for the next year?
Until the end of time is a reality. Yeah. So first of all, we've touched on, it lives on your marketing materials forever, even if it was 20 years ago. If you've been in Oprah, that's it. There's that staple. Also, once you've been featured in any media that's right and relevant for you, if you even just share it with your existing audience, right? So I always love to do this. I love to blast out my wins, go, oh, I'm so excited, or I'm delighted to be in XYZ. It's so funny, Jenna, how everyone is smug that they were right to follow you. Yep. It's like, I'd always share, oh my gosh, I'm in Oprah.com. I'm here, I'm there. And my clients would go, I know I got the right. Of course you are. Yeah, but they're like, I know I chose the right life coach. Yeah. I knew, like people celebrate you. They share. I mean, it's amazing, this encouragement and love that you receive, even just as a result of sharing something that is already out there. When it comes to getting more, like, because I tell you, media is addictive. It should come with a warning. You're like, oh my gosh, all the people, all the things, or like evergreen sales. If you have the application forms filled out, once you're in one media outlet, that credibility is there forevermore. But then you use that for more pitches, right? So it's like, oh, I was just in. And as soon as you've been in one place, it's like you've been vetted somehow by the media. Yes. And then it's like, oh, okay, well, just come on here, come on this show. Or, okay, would you like to create more content around that for us? Or we could do a slightly different take on that. It's what you have one piece. I call it the laddering up strategy. You can just keep climbing, keep climbing, keep climbing. More and more people find out about you. There are more and more shares. Even when you share it with your existing audience and anyone who knows you, they share, they're proud. It's like this kind of wildfire effect that can happen. And if you ever, and this is what I love to do and also recommend, if you ever even include maybe a quote from a book, maybe something from an influencer that you love. I love to include my friends and their books in my media work. Often you can also link to those people in your pieces and they share. And then this is what I call my million view trick. If I even include a quote or two from a huge author, then their team see it, right? Everyone has a Google alert and then it share. I mean, you don't know. Like it's almost like this Christmas miracle. Yes. that happens like at any time when you're willing to take your message a little bigger in a way that can be seen and captured. You almost don't even know like where it can go and how far it can go. So, oh my God, there are so many things that we can do. And the more you do it, right, there's this compounding effect. What comes up when you're Googled? Like when your name's Googled, is it someone else with your name? I mean, that happens. Is it just your website and socials? That's cool, but that's also what everybody else has. Yep. And all else being equal, say someone's looking to hire a personal trainer, an interior designer, anybody, and they're kind of Googling, oh, look between you and you, just seeing what comes up. And one person is incredible media. we're just, I don't make the rules, but we're going to trust and work with that person. So, and media isn't taken down. So that works for you, compounding over time, just like the stock market. It's like the ultimate investment. Jen, I mean, seriously, how long have you got?
Yes. Well, it's true because so many people are spending so much time on content that lives and dies within 24 hours. Like nobody's scrolling back through your Instagram to find a post from a year ago. It doesn't have SEO. It's not linkable. Like it's interesting to me because I think you and I align so well with like the let it be easy. Like my word of the year last year was ease. I even had it on a necklace. And the other day, Coco was looking at this necklace that I wear all the time and she flipped it over and she's like, Mom, I didn't know there was a word on there. And so you and I align so deeply in that thought process. And what I think is so interesting is that when you see where people are wasting their time, or where time isn't necessarily being connected to results, we want to teach you different strategies, different ways to think about it. And it's so interesting, Susie, because there's so many statistics that back up that like if people even just see recognizable logos on your website, immediately like your reputation starts to match with what they think about those bigger names. And so it's like very interesting, even the psychology of seeing like your name next to People magazine or whatever it is that you're featured in, and how all of a suddenly that trust is like instantly, interfered with in the best way possible, where it's like, oh, wow, this is like a whole different level or a whole different caliber.
Oh, it's the hugest advantage. And for anyone who feels like, oh, self-promotion feels, I get it, right? If people think, oh, self-promotion feels good. I think I'm not self-promoting at all. The media are promoting me. Let them do it.
Yes. Yes.
I don't have to shove and do
the talking. Like, yes.
And then, it's amazing. And then often the media will, when you're featured as an expert, they'll say, Jenna Kutcher is an XYZ. And the way that they describe you, I'm like, I don't even have to say anything nice about myself. I'll let you just take it away, baby.
Yes.
So there's a neutrality in it too that I think is also really valuable.
Yeah. So when you came on the show a year ago, my team and I were just like obviously obsessed, but we also were like, wait, we're not even doing this. And so we dove in to your strategies and your system. And oh my gosh, not only did we like fall in love with you even deeper, but it works. And so one thing that was actually shocking to me, so we were on Oprah Daily. We became a monthly contributor to the HubSpot blog, which is massive. One thing we didn't expect in that is that they paid us for our contributions.
Oh, yeah.
And that was like fascinating to me because I was like, no. Like we just want to be, what? We just want to be on there. And they're like, no, like we'll pay you for these articles and things that we were doing. And so it was amazing because I also don't think people realize, like, obviously free press is incredible in and of itself, but also there is more upside and opportunities to drive results, whether it's directly to you, traffic to your website, followers on your social, new clients, or even getting paid directly by the outlets for creating the content that they need and desire. And the other thing that I thought was fascinating that we didn't necessarily expect is that when you can backlink to your own content and you are featured on a site that gets a lot of traffic, it boosts your search engine optimization and your search credibility in Google so that you climb the charts in search results, because now a credible source is linking to your content saying it's credible and valuable. And so there were just like even more hidden benefits. Like I feel like you undersell this even with your enthusiasm of what's possible, because we were just like surprised and delighted every step of the way, where we're like, we weren't expecting this. We weren't expecting this. Oh my gosh, this traffic just went into our webinar. Oh my gosh, and so it was like, there's just so many benefits to it. It was just absolutely incredible.
Oh, I'm thrilled for you. Congrats, number one. But also, seriously, a decade doing this, I got to go on a free cruise. I was like, oh my God. The SEO, the backlinking, that trusted source, the organic Google ranking. I mean, the payment for content. I don't even touch on so much of this stuff because, I mean, how long I could talk for 3 years nonstop, not sleeping. Like there is so much. Yeah. And what's interesting is I always use links to sell my own products, which I care the most about. But yeah, on average, the fee that I get is like $500 per piece of content. And I mean, that's really nice. It's not revenue that I rely on, but I just think, sweet.
Yeah.
Like
people
addition,
don't even realize that though, where I'm like, oh yeah, like we're doing the work for the writer and solving a problem for them. And I think it's incredible. Yeah. One thing that I think is interesting, and I'm curious, Susie, do you do like a vision board for the new year? Do you do anything like that?
Sometimes. This year, not yet. What about you?
Okay. So I always do like a secret Pinterest board, and I like to pin, certain goals or visions or feelings or things that I want. And I think that so many people, as they're looking at this brand new fresh year, that they should be pinning or adding to their vision board some sort of media feature. And I think sometimes people think like, oh, that would be a nice to have, but I argue that it should be a need to have for this year. And so what would you say to somebody who's maybe now thinking like, okay, let me just go and think of like the favorite places I love to go for media. Let me just imagine either my face or my name in the byline there. Like what would be the first step that they should take beyond putting it on their vision board?
Oh my gosh, I love this vision board idea. In fact, I just saw 2 people in my group say that they had TV on their vision board and it's come to be. And I'm like, of course, it has to start with that. I actually had Kathy Lee and Hoda when it was Kathy Lee Gifford on my vision board. And Jenna, I actually bought the dress before I even was invited on the Today Show. I bought my dress. I was like, this is my TV show. This is my TV dress when Hoda and Kathy Lee at the time call, and they did. So our intention matters. That, being intentional matters so much. So choose something fabulous. Choose a place where you would love to appear. I mean, there really are no limits apart from the ones that we believe with this. Truly, we've had people get into real tier A media off the bat, not even starting with anything smaller, just really going for it. So the first thing I do is, of course, put it on your Pinterest vision board. And then I would think to myself, what could be one thing that if I wish people knew this, that their lives would be a little bit better. And it could be a finance tip. It could be a relationship tip. It could be some sleep advice. I mean, it can be anything super niche, like growing plants in your New York apartment, a specific type of plant. If you just think, okay, what can I offer? What could be a generous thing for me to give to others? That's your starting point. And really everything else is just strategy, right? It's like where you might like to be and what it is you might like to share. And then the rest is easy. Like the rest really is just a matter of taking the right actions. And oh my gosh, what a way to start the year.
I know. Can you share, Susie, some of the wins your community has had in terms of just some of the features that your members of your community has? Because I think it's easy for people to listen to us and be like, well, of course you're getting featured. That makes sense. But you have a really profound community that is so diverse in topics, in ages, in everything. Oh, yeah. And so can you share a few of their wins?
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, I love this because and I'm more excited now about other people's wins. I'm forever excited about my own, but especially when newer people get wins, I feel so thrilled. Okay. So one woman had some great content in Parents speaking about awakening her dead marriage after having kids. Like she said, no one talks about this. Some people, they say it brings them closer together. She's like, that's not my experience. And she spoke just very honestly about her relationship experience. And she's a relationship coach now. Another woman was speaking about how she's a fitness instructor and she's deaf. And she works out with her clients without music. And she said how much better that is because there's no distraction or nonsense. It really just is you and your body and your consciousness. I mean, so beautiful. Another woman was talking about after her weight loss, how she embrace kind of bikini season with her former mentality, her current mentality, and how actually nothing had really changed. Her body had changed, but nothing changed until her story about herself had changed. Someone else spoke about how she saved $1 million for retirement, earning less than $100,000 a year, and how she's retiring early to go to Africa. And she wants to meet people from her family that she's never met before. I mean, one woman told a story about how, as a side hustle, she leases her yard to people who have dogs because she lives in a pretty urban place and she has like a patch of grass, and she's like, you can use my garden.
It's amazing.
And she's like, I'm making, $100 a week. I mean, so you don't even need these huge, it's not like, oh, I made 8 figures and now I'm in my St. Bart's yacht, or, oh, I was on, Australian Idol, American Idol, whatever. And it's like, we want to hear your day to day. Another woman spoke about how her twins were only drinking chocolate milk. Like she was only drinking, and she was at the end of the line. She was like, I give up on everything. And then she learned some conscious parenting techniques, and she realized that her approach was one that she hadn't really examined before, and how when she changed, the results changed with her and her twins. I mean, it's like
but wait though, I want to read all of these articles. Like that's what I want people to hear too, is like, if your curiosity was piqued in any of those stories, you likely have 10 of those stories within you, right? And one thing that I think is amazing to point out, Susie, and it's funny because I'm in a couple different Facebook groups, and I think there are people that work for the press in the Facebook groups where they're like, hey, we're doing a story about blah, 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 blah. Yeah. If you have this experience, let us know. And people want to hear from real people. They want the relatable stories. They want to feel seen or heard or understood. And I think that honestly, I could almost argue that the everyday life person, the person who's in the building phase, the person who's just 1 or 2 steps ahead of the other people might even be better positioned for media than someone who is so far removed from that starting line. Because I just love those stories and the relatability and the honesty and just how everything you just said, I was like, oh, I want to know how she got the chocolate milk. Wait, I want to know the merit. Where I'm that's amazing. That's what works. And so I don't know, what would you say to that?
Oh my gosh, 2 things. Number one, you're right. The media want to hear from regular people like you and me, regular people, and they want to hear our stories. Our life is our cred. Your life is your cred. And then secondly, there's always going to be the place for the traditional expert, right? The attorney, the doctor, the CPA, CFA. I can tell you a lot of my friends are editors at different financial publications, and they say, we want to hear from the single mom who got out of debt with 3 kids, working 2 jobs. And there's a place for a financial expert to also weigh in. Yeah. But how did you do it, Mom? What did you cut back on? How did you tell your kids about it? This one woman had that feature. She made it a game in her family. What could they save? What could they cut back on? And she spoke about how she made getting out of debt and saving money a game. And it was so special. And so, of course, there's a financial, automate your savings and cut back on the latte. Yeah, there's so much of that. But let's hear from you, Mom, with the 3 kids. Let's hear from the people. So much too, I hear this with fertility journeys, with different health journeys, with even the expatriate community all over the world. We want to hear from people who've moved to Dubai. We want to hear from people who've moved to Australia. And of course, there is the board that tells you everything that you need to know. But what's it really like as a woman over there? What happened? Where'd you get your waxing?
Yes.
We want to know the real bits and bobs. Yeah. And this is what us as real humans get to communicate in the most generous way with the media.
I love that. So you have a training to help us go deeper on this. We did it last year. It was absolutely incredible. Our audience went nuts. I have never seen chat with just so much gratitude in what people were learning from you. And so if somebody's listening to this and they want to go a step further, can you tell us about the free training that you have?
Oh my gosh, I am so thrilled for this. All you have to do is go to jennakutcher.com/rockstar to register, where I'm breaking down how to make this a reality. I'm breaking down some things that could be preventing you from making it a reality, and then how specifically to get started. I'm highlighting everything that I did to grow my email list to 29,000 people in 9 months. Paid, like Jenna mentioned. I even forget to to say that part. But I was essentially paid to grow my email list and to get new clients and to become a very credible life coach in a short period of time in a very busy industry. And that's what I'm breaking down for you and how this can apply to you no matter your niche. I learned so much from the people who join this training because they come from such different worlds. And if you've got something to say and you want more people to hear it and you want more people to know about you and how you can help them, you definitely want to be there. If you want to tap into huge engaged audiences online, let's go. I mean, what are we waiting for? This training it's so fun. It's jam-packed. I'm giving you frameworks, tips, insider info that only people with a lot of experience know. And this is your shortcut. This is your shortcut to your visibility in 2025. So I can't wait, Jenna. Cannot wait.
Well, I can't wait. I made my whole team watch it. I was taking notes. We were following the system. So jennakutcher.com/rockstar. Join. I will be there with Susie for the training. I'm so excited. Susie, thanks for coming back on the podcast.
What a joy to spend time with you every second. I love it. Thank you so much, Jenna and team. Mwah!
Susie's energy and enthusiasm is so stinking contagious. I absolutely love her. And I also love how she empowers everyday people to get out into the world and to share their stories and to get the media coverage they deserve and they can leverage. We still use Susie's system in my business. It is something we are actively doing, and it has been absolutely so powerful, so game-changing, and so surprising. The benefits literally keep unfolding as we continue the work. Again, if you want to sign up for Susie's free training, go to jennakutcher.com/rockstar. I will be on the training with you both. I think she is an absolute masterclass leader in terms of getting PR and leveraging this press strategy. And I definitely think that if being featured in the media is on your vision board for 2025, you need to attend this class. And if that's not on your vision board, I think you should reconsider and place it on there. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Goal Digger Podcast. Until next time, Goal Diggers, keep on digging your biggest goals. Thanks for pulling up a seat for another episode of the Goal Digger Podcast. I hope today's episode fueled you with inspiration, gave you information that you can turn into action, and realigned you with your true north in life and business. If you've enjoyed today's episode, head on over to goaldiggerpodcast.com for today's show notes, discount codes for our sponsors, freebies to fuel your results, and so much more. And if you haven't yet, make sure you're subscribed so that you never miss a future show. We'll see you next time, Goal Diggers.
Please note, this episode may contain paid endorsements and advertisements, and individuals on the show may have a direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to in the episode. Your support through affiliate links or sponsored content helps us continue to bring you valuable content. Thank you for being a part of the Goal Digger community.